Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so very much for waiting. Today, I want to thank all of you for coming to the Gunpla Builders World Cup 2018, the World Championship Award Ceremony. And for those of you that are watching this image through the internet, I also want to thank all of you for watching. I'm going to be the MC for today. I am Masami Kyogoku. Thank you. Now, together with me, I have somebody that are very special for Gunpla Builders World Cup, Meijin Kawaguchi. Good afternoon, everybody. I am from Bandai Spirits. I am Kawaguchi. Thank you very much for today. Now, we are just about to start a very special award ceremony for a World Championship. So for the Gunpla Builders World Cup 2018, we have the people from 16 countries and regions, and a total of 28 people are here as a finalist. They're all gathered in the base of Gundam here in Tokyo. Yes, and we have all the finalists that are here today, and they came to this venue this morning, and they were here to set up their own work. And as you can see on your right and left, all the works are being displayed here. Now I feel that all the finalists are waving their flags. We all have them on this venue today. So from the 16 countries and regions, we will be able to have the top finalists. And we are very excited, and as well as you, to find out who is going to be able to win the award. Now, as for the method of how we are going to select, and could you please explain? Yes, as for the method, myself, and also another member from Bandai Spirits, and also we have the editing department from these magazines. So we have the total of 4 judges that are evaluating your work. And what we are looking at is the craftsmanship and painting and ideas. And each one of these categories are given 100. As a result, each one of you would have the total of 300. So as a result, the total of 1,200 are going to be the perfect points. We have finished all the evaluation, and the grade will be announced very shortly. Yes, we have the point system. So when we make an announcement, we would also be able to tell you as to what points you were able to receive. So you would have an idea as to find out what your point was. It might be a little bit severe, but we will be able to tell you the points that you received. So please look forward to that as well. Now, before we find out the result, let's just introduce the work.
First, from a junior course for the 14 years old and younger builders, representing Australia, Mr. Lu Chen Chan, titled New Gundam Psycho Awakening. Representing China, Mr. Xu Yilan, titled Superfluous. Representing Hong Kong, Mr. Badi Chan, titled Fishing Genius. Representing Indonesia by Mr. Mark Alexander Ilwant, the title Build Divers Fantasy. Representing Japan by Mr. Toki Maruyama, the title End of the Battle. Representing Malaysia by Mr. Muhammad Yasbin Muhammad Mohayadin, titled Scorpio. Representing Philippines by Mr. James Michael C. Durella. The title is The Devil Takes Flight. Representing Singapore by Mr. T. Zuye, titled 00 Horizon. Representing South Korea by Mr. Park Gil, titled Monster. Representing Taiwan by Mr. Wu Xiyan, titled Once Again. Representing Thailand, Miss Ashila Neobatatu, titled The First Shooting. Representing Vietnam by Mr. Nguyen Hon Lon, titled The White Golem. Unfortunately, Mr. Long could not make this event today. These 12 finalists make up our contenders for the awards in junior course. Next, on to open course from 15 years old and above. Representing Australia by Mr. Aaron Simons, titled Sledgehammer. Representing Canada, Mr. Lowell Lyons, titled Kshatriya Veserang. Representing China by Mr. Li Weilong, titled Hope. Representing France by Mr. Nicolas Latos, titled Launch. Representing Hong Kong by Mr. Mansong Ng, titled Origin of Shah. Representing Indonesia by Mr. Antonius, titled The Return of the Red Comet. Representing Italy by Mr. Fabio Angelini, titled A Stoner Story. Representing Japan by Mr. Yusuke Sato, titled Gundam Exia Repair 2 Fatal Movement. Representing Malaysia by Mr. Raymond Yap Chihyun, titled Full Armor Operation. Representing Philippines by Mr. James Amal Aquinsat, titled Everything Starts with a Prototype. Representing Singapore by Mr. Liu Shi-wei David, titled Azure Nightingale. Representing South Korea by Mr. Moon Jung-won, titled The World Tree Harmony. Representing Taiwan by Mr. So Kwan Hao, titled The Queen's Garden. Representing Thailand by Mr. Vichayus A.M. On, titled We Are Gundam. Representing the USA by Mr. Darian Shell, titled Worth Fighting For. Representing Vietnam by Mr. Lee Hong Kwan, titled T-Red. These 16 works made up the finalists for our open course. I would like to now introduce to you our judges who have chosen these Gunplas who make up world champions. The judges from Hobby Japan, the editor-in-chief, Mr. Manabu Kimura. And from Model Graphics, the editor department in charge of Gunpla, Mr. Iwao Sekiguchi. And Bandai Spirit's hobby department, Akihiko Yasunaka. And also Katsumi Kawaguchi. And furthermore, on this World Championship, we have a special judge. He's the director of Gundam Build Fighters Battle Log, and he's the action director of Gundam Build Divers. He is a veteran animation director, including various Gundam series. Mr. Masami Obari. Hello, Mr. Obari. Thank you very much for coming to this event. And you'll be judging the finalist work for the GBWC's World Championship. What do you think of today's work?
It was all full of wonderful work, and I can see that this is really the world-level Gunpla event. I was very moved. So in this venue, we have the wonderful finalists from all over the world. And what do you think? I'm myself being a little bit nervous because Gundam is built by all of you, and Gunpla, I also am passionate about it, and I'm very honored to be able to be here. Okay, let's enjoy this event. So please go back to your seats. Now, today, we have Mr. Obari as well as the judges. We will be welcoming the comments about the work later on. So, as Mr. Obari just mentioned, this time, I think you all had an extremely wonderful evaluation. Yes, it was very difficult for us to make a judgment. So, was it hard? Yes, it was. So we are very much looking forward for the announcement, but before we do that, we have a special news to the finalists. In this finalist, we have prepared 3 special awards, and I would like to talk about that. The first one, because this is to be held in Japan, the Gunpla Base, so we have the award called Gundam Base Award. Number 2 is to be sponsored by the company Hoyu. It's a Men's Biggin Award. The third one is the selected by Mr. Obari. It's a special judges award. So we have those 3 special awards. So as for the special award that has just been explained, so this is aside from the junior or the open, which means that there is a possibility that somebody might be able to win more than one award. Please look forward to that. Okay, so now let's move on to the announcement of the award. So first, a special award, which is the Gundam Base Award. Okay, so the special award, I would like to announce the Gundam Base Award. The name of the award, A Stoner Story, Manson Lee from Hong Kong. So please come up on the stage. Mr. Manson Lee from Hong Kong, congratulations.
The work is titled Origin of Sha. Here's a trophy which is colored in Gundam base color. A photo session, please. Representing Hong Kong, Mr. Manson won this special award, Gundam Base Award, on his work on Origin of Sha. Mr. Kawaguchi, would you please share the reason for this selection? What stood up was the O-type Zack, red. And this model really depicted the character of Sha. And there's a a big mask representing Shah. That combination was very unique and interesting. The idea is very creative. So in this regard, Gundam, especially the original work, that I'm sure he has a special fondness of. So we definitely echo his enthusiasm. Gundam Base Award went to Mr. Manson. Congratulations. Next, the second special award from Hoyu Corporation Limited. The co-sponsor of GBWC Men's Begin Award. Mr. Meijin Kawaguchi, please. Yes. The work titled Kshatriya Dasarang. Representing Canada, Mr. Law Ryan. Congratulations, Mr. Ryan. Please come up to the stage. Meijin Kawaguchi is presenting you the trophy appropriately black colored for Men's Begin. Let's take a picture. Great smile. Congratulations. So I would like to introduce to you the reason for this selection. The overall composition was excellent, and not only the precision using the kit, but also the image finish of the battle was well executed. And also I saw a lot of hard work went into it. And Kshatriya's craftsmanship and the painting was very rich and heavy and very precise and very effective additional parts and color offering. And without losing any details of original kit, you were able to add a unique characters to make a very special Kshatriya. Hoyu's corporate slogan is "Color Your Heart." And this message has an idea of through our products, the company would like to bring wealth to consumers' hearts. And that's what's behind Hoyu. And I sense the beauty which was behind all the great appearance in this model building by Mr. Ryan. Congratulations, Mr. Ryan. Please give him a great round of applause.
さあそして最後の特別賞となります。では特別審査員の大張さんが選ぶ特別審査員賞の発表、プレゼンターをもちろん大張さんにお願いいたします。
Now the special judges award by the director 大張。
それでは発表を川口さんお願いいたします。
Mr. Kawaguchi。
特別審査員賞受賞作品は
The special judge award goes to We Are Gundam by Mr. Vitros AM On representing Thailand. Congratulations, Mr. Vitros AM On. Please come up to the stage. You are the recipient of the special judges award. Now the director Obari will present you with award plate and a photo. And one more autographed autograph of the director Obari. Isn't that great? And Mr. Obari, would you please share with us your thought on his work? From animator's perspective and from director's perspective, I liked his work because the outline was so superb. It's dynamic and also sensitive, and also reflection on the ground, and the reflection that we see on various parts, and the boxes, the detailed painting on the little boxes. I liked all these pristine work. Congratulations. So the special judges award went to Mr. Vitros AM On We Are Gundam. Please give him a good round of applause. So let's move to the photo session for those who received special awards, and Meijin Kawaguchi too.
それでは皆さんセンターに揃って
So please stand in the center
では笑顔でスマイル
and
で
smile.
お願いします。皆さん本当にね素晴らしい笑顔でいらっしゃいますね。
I really love your wonderful smile.
といったところでしょうか。よろしいでしょうか。はい。それでは以上で
Okay, so that completes the photo session of the special award. For those of the winners, congratulations to all of you. Please give them a big round of applause. Congratulations again. So, Mr. Obali, please stay on as the presenter on the stage. So now, 3 special awards has just been announced. So now we have been waiting for a long time, and announcement of the first junior course. And we would like to have the Meijin Kawaguchi as the announcer. The presenter will be asked for Mr. Obari. So now we have the finalist. So Mr. Kawaguchi, please. Now, let me make an announcement for the Gundam Builders World Cup 2018, the World Championship Junior Course number 3. Goes to the White Golden, William Hong Long, Vietnam. Congratulations. Number 3 goes to Mr. Nguyen Hong Long, the White Golden. I'm sorry that he's not able to be here. So, but I would like to ask Mr. Yasunaga to tell us why this was selected. Yes. Number 3, the work. It's 144th. It's a small size model, but all the details, craftsmanship, paying attention to all the details, as well as the surface being extremely well made. And also the very detail, the backpack tank and the other metal parts gluing. If that had been a little bit more precise, it would make it even much more better. But anyway, congratulations for receiving number 3. Okay, so for those of you that are watching, possibly through the internet, I would like to tell you that the number 3 goes to Mr. Nguyen Hong Long from Vietnam. Now moving on to number 2. Meijin Kawaguchi, please go ahead. So let me announce the Gundam Builders World Cup 2018 World Championship Junior Course number 2. Goes to the total of 840. The name of the work is once again by Mr. Wu Xian from Taiwan. Congratulations. Please come up on the stage. So Mr. Obari is going to give you the trophy. Congratulations. So let's take a photograph. Please come to the center. And together with Mr. Obari and Meijin Kawaguchi, let's take a photo. Okay. So now, I would like to ask Mr. Ushien, how do you feel now?
我很开心，我可以站在这里。我想要感谢评审跟教我的老师以及我的父母。
本日この場に立つことができまして非常に嬉しく思っております。審査員の皆様、そして教えてくださった先生、そして両親に感謝したいと思います。
Thank you very much for the teachers who taught him as well as the parents. Now I would like to once again understand the reason for being selected from Mr. Kimura. First of all, Mr. Ushien, congratulations. It's a very cool looking T-shirt that you're wearing. And as for Mr. Ushien's work, if you were to look at it, you may think this is quite subdued. But if you were to look at all the details, the craftsmanship as well as the painting, it's a very high level. And if you were to look behind, as a matter of fact, there are persons standing, and he is paying all the details. I mean, paying attention to all the details. And as for the diorama, the structure-wise is very interesting. Or maybe changes on the height. If you were to be able to do that, that would be even more interesting structure. So if you were to challenge again, you might want to think about those other aspects. Mr. Kimura, thank you very much. So I think it was a wonderful advice. This is number 2 from a junior course, Mr. Ushien from Taiwan. Congratulations. So now, please stay on the stage. Now, this is the Gunpla Builders World Cup 2018, the World Championship, junior course number 1. Junior champion is now about to be announced. And to Meijin Kawaguchi, we have just given him the envelope. Mr. Kawaguchi, please make an announcement. Okay, let me open the envelope. Now, let me make an announcement. The Gunpla Builders World Cup 2018, the World Championship, junior course, out of the 12 work, this is going to be number 1. The total point 940. The name of the work is Build Diverse Fantasy, Mr. Mark Alexander Inward from Indonesia. Congratulations. So Mr. Mark Alexander's, the gold trophy is given to him. Congratulations. So let's take a photograph first. All 3 of you standing in the stage. Beautiful smile and the wonderful points you received. Mr. Mark Alexander Ilward, first of all, congratulations. How do you feel now? Would you like to make some comment?
I'm very happy, and I thank you for all the juries about praise my art is not perfect.
本当にありがとうございました。私の芸術はまだまだ完成ではないと思っています。
はい、おめでとうございます。
Congratulations. So from the model graphic, Mr. Iwao Sekiguchi is going to make a comment about this work. First of all, congratulations, Mark. Now, as for this work, I think there is a high level of creating this space and the structure. And also the details work is wonderful, but what's most astonishing is the color. I think there is a very beautiful paint, but also the Kshatriya's coloring is actually brighter, but then the upper part is very monotone, but I think the color coordination is beautiful. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you very much for the comment. So, for all the people that have received the award, let's take a photograph together. Number 2, as well as the champion, will be all together in the photograph. We will swap the order. So we have champion and we have number 2. And time for the photograph for the award-winning members. So finally, I would like to show you the scorecard of the junior course. This is the final count. As you can see, the points here. As to which is your weakness, is first of all, I would like you to pay attention where your weakness is. The overall points there, but then there are three elements that we are splitting the points. So pay attention to various different departments so that as you go forward, I think this might give you a hint as to how you might be able to improve. So I do hope that you'll be able to refer those information for your future work. And it has all the detailed points, and these points will be uploaded to the official site. So please check on your points later. So now, for the junior course, these are the award-winning members for the junior course. Please give them a big round of applause. Congratulations to you. Okay, so the junior course award has just been given out. Now we would like to move on to the open course announcement. So the envelope is now given to Meijin Kawaguchi. So Meijin Kawaguchi, please go ahead. So let me announce the Gunpla Builders World Cup 2018, the World Championship, open course. This is number 3. The total 995. The name of the work is We Are Gundam from Thailand, which is AM on. Congratulations. So this is actually the double award winning. Congratulations, Mr. Vichayam on. A trophy is given to you. Congratulations. So let's take a photograph first. So this is the second award that's being given to him, Mr. Vichayas A.M. On. So how do you feel now? Please tell us what you feel.
I feel amazingly great for this one. I'm kind of hoping for it because now my collection is complete of the trophy. So I'm really ecstatic about this now. So thank you so much for giving it to me. Thank you so much.
本当にこのような賞をいただけて光栄に思います。この色のトロフィーをいただけたということで、私のコレクションもこれで全て揃ったと思います。本当にありがとうございました。
おめでとうございます。
Congratulations to you.
さあ本当にね嬉しそうな。
I look extremely happy, Mr. Vichayas A.M. On. So let's hear from the Mr. Yatsunaga from the hobby department. First of all, Mr. Vichayas, congratulations. And this time, this particular work, as Mr. Obari earlier mentioned, that there is the expression that are very rich. We were almost amazed that there is this way of expressing, and the structure, as well as how you create the space, is very well balanced. And also, the people tend to look at the body, but then if you were to look at the details on the foot and the other model placement, all the details expression is extremely interesting. It's interesting for us to watch it, and congratulations. And Mr. Yasunaga, thank you very much for the comment. All right, so this is number 3 for open course from Thailand. Is given to Vichayas A.M. On, and this is his second award he's receiving today. Okay, now we will continue the announcement. Next one would be the announcement for number 2. Okay, so I will make an announcement for Gunpla Builders World Cup 2018, the World Championship, open course number 2. The total points 1,010. The name of the work, everything starts with a prototype. To Mr. James Mark Quinsat from the Philippines. Congratulations. Congratulations to you. So Mr. Obari will be giving you the silver trophy. Congratulations to you.
ではお写真を撮りいたします。
So let's take a photograph.
はい。
Okay.
の国旗もトロフィーととも
So
に
we have the flag of the Philippines as well.
よろしいでしょうか。
Okay.
さあそれで
Now,
は今の気持ちを
I would like to hear from
お聞かせ
Mr.
いただきま
James
しょう。
Mark Alquinsat how he feels now.
I feel very happy winning this for my country. And actually, everyone here that participated are winners already. So it's the experience that we are gathered here all together. That's the thing, that's the experience. One up, man.
本当にこのような賞をいただけて嬉しく思います。私はこちらで国を代表して来させていただいていますが、参加者みんながウィナーだと思います。みんなで得た賞です。ありがとうございました。
おめでとうございます。
Congratulations. That's a wonderful comment.
さあそれではここで審査員
So
の
now we would like to hear from Mr. Sakiguchi as to comments on the work. First of all, congratulations, Mr. James. First of all, this is the idea of trying to adjust the size itself is wonderful, and the full scratch-built work it is. But then when it comes to the various different skill that are being put into this, but we did not feel this was very strange, even though you made all sorts of skill into it, and then there is no weathering. But I think the painting was just truly wonderful. Unless you have the basic skill for painting, you can't really be doing that. So I think I was very amazed to the level of the painting skill. The right leg has not been painted, but I think there is the notes that are written on the choke. And then on the helmet, I mean, there's just so much to watch. I think we just keep on wanting to watch this for a long time, trying to discover something new. But anyway, congratulations. And thank you very much for the comment, Mr. Sakiguchi. Later on, you will have an opportunity to see a lot more. Number 2 goes to Mr. James Mark Alquinsat from the Philippines. And congratulations. Okay, so finally, Gunpla Builders World Cup 2018, the World Championship, the last announcement. This is the open course champion, number 1 in 2018. Let's make an announcement. The envelope is just given to Meijin Kawaguchi. So let me open the envelope. I will make an announcement. Gunpla Builders World Cup 2018, the World Championship. Open course, out of the 16 work, the number work goes to total points 1,045. The name of the work is Gundam Exterior Appear to Fatal Movement, Mr. Yusuke Sato, Japan. Congratulations, Mr. Sato. Please come up on the stage. So you're expressing your feeling, but Mr. Obari, this is a golden trophy given to you. Congratulations. Let's take a photograph first. So this is wonderful. 1,045 was the point that he earned, Mr. Yusuke Sato. Now he is a champion of this event. So let's hear from Mr. Sato. First of all, congratulations for being number 1. I am so overwhelmed to receive this wonderful award. Anything else to say? Okay, so it's very difficult to express this feeling, but from Hobby Japan, I would like to hear from Mr. Kimura about this work. First of all, Mr. Sato, congratulations. And this work, this is called the box type diorama. So when you hear box type, normally it's surrounded by 4 walls, and you see the work from one direction. And of course, this work is just beautiful. structure-wise from the front, but as you see on the side, there are window. You can also see this through the window and to be able to enjoy the diorama. And the structure is just beautifully done. And if you look around, paying attention to the details, also the exterior is wonderfully made. And if you were to look on the right-hand side, and it's almost like monoliths, like items that are being put down on the trip to the universe. And there is solstice beam mark that are applied. So no matter which part of this work and how you look at it, and I think you enjoy at the very high level, I almost point it as 100%. Idea is extremely wonderful, and I think this is the work that's worth receiving the champion. I thank you very much, Mr. Kimura. So this is from Japan, Mr. Yusuke Sato, that received #1. Once again, please give him a big round of applause to Mr. Sato. So, for all of you who will receive the award, we would like to take a photograph. Please line up on the stage for the photograph.
So now we have a champion, a number 2 ranker, number 3 ranker, all together in one photo. What a wonderful work we were able to see at this year's Gunpla World Championship. Now the scoreboard for the open course finalists. Maybe a bit hard to see because of small print, but as this chart shows clearly, there are many finalists, builders who scored more than 1,000 points. So that means craftsmanship, painting, and also idea creativity. They are all in the top league of Gunpla builders. As some of the comments mentioned, the idea, the creativity, and including the way to display their models may have resulted in these small changes. But when you look at all these work in this room, I'm not surprised if any of this model won the championship. Yes, when I look at all these models, I notice that there are very small differences between the champions and all the other finalists. And that's what these figures show. And when I look at the model, they are just so exquisite. Yes. I can really sense the enthusiasm of the builders who really want to show their work to the audience. Now, I'd like to welcome the 2 award recipients from Junior Course 2, and we would like to take a group picture.
いかがでしょうか。2018年のジュニアコース、そしてオープンコースの上位3名の皆さんが勢ぞろいなさっていらっしゃいます。
So the 5 award recipients are now all lined up on our stage.
さあ皆さんね、いい笑顔でスマイルをしてくれています。
Great smiles.
はい、よろしいでしょうか。ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much. Please give them a good round of applause. The 6 award recipients for WBC 2018 World Cup. Congratulations. Please return to your seats. Thank you.
先ほどね、受賞者のコメントの
And a recipient mentioned that we're all the winners. And now that we have chosen the world champion for junior course and open course, what do you think? There's an eternal possibility because we are building Gunpla. I think world #1, it's just amazing. I am quite moved, and I'm inspired, and I would like to bring this back to my workplace and reflect it on my animated films.
ファイナリストの皆さんに来年再来年もぜひ挑戦していただきたいということで。
And if we could have some cheering comments for the builders. Regarding points and scores, there are slight differences, but again, any of these work could have won a championship. This can be said for all the finalists who are here, but for those builders who were unfortunate in not being able to make it to this stage, but they all have a chance to win. I think the most important thing is to have the enthusiasm and the drive for what you want to show to viewers and audiences. I'm very much looking forward to many more interesting Gunpla to come. Thank you very much, Mr. Obari. This was a great day, and thank you very much for your participants, and I hope you come back again. Thank you. And today's guest judge was animation director, Mr. Masami Obari. And again, today's judges were from Hobby Japan, editor-in-chief, Mr. Manabu Kimura, from Moto Graphics, editor in charge of Gunpla, Mr. Iwao Sekiguchi, from Bandai Spirits Hobby Department, Akihiko Yasunaga and Katsumi Kawaguchi. Thank you, Mr. Kimura and Mr. Sekiguchi.
ありがとうございました。いや、なんか本当にもう発表するのがもったいないというか。
This event is almost over. It's too bad. I really would like to be absorbed in this world of Gunpla more. Yes, I'm sure many of you feel the same way too. And this enthusiasm surrounding Gunpla and Gunpla bringing people together across the world is what's so great about Gunpla, isn't it? Yes. And I think many of the finalists are networking, also getting to know each other, exchanging emails. That's also great too amongst Gunpla builders. And as Amazing Kawaguchi mentioned, we want people, builders, to challenge again for the next year's GBWC, right? Yes, yes. For those of you who are really good at craftsmanship, please improve your painting. And for those who are really good at painting, please expand your creativity, come up with some new ideas, and to translate all that into your creation. I think in that process is fun. And if you participate in a contest like this, many audience would watch and judge your work. And that interaction is something that makes Gunpla building more interesting. Yes, and this is really the world that has eternal potential, and I hope everybody gets to take a part. Yes, and when I look at all these work displayed, I see a lot of people have great creativity, very free to build, and I think this is a really one-of-a-kind opportunity to see these top of the work in real life. And Gunpla Builders World Cup is coming again in 2019. And we hope to those of you who did not make the ranking this time, please try again for the 9th GBWC with your new creation. And meanwhile, please be sure to check the Gunpla Builders World Cup 2018 official site for the Gunpla works from each of the country's national winners this time. And later on, their score tables will be posted too. And at this Gundam base Tokyo, the works from the global finalists will be presented here from tomorrow, December 10th until January 28th. And in that regards, the judges talked about, by looking at this model from different angles, I think you see a new discovery. And that's one of the great experience you can only have by looking at these creation in real life. Yes, and these works are so dynamic, and I can sit in front of them forever. Yes, and also I really suggest you to look at these models from behind or from the side.
ということでガンプラビルダーのファイナリストの皆様と共に盛り上がって過ごしてまいりましたこのお時間
And this time that was so exciting with all the finalists and great work is nearing its end. This concludes a Gunpla Builders World Cup 2018 World Championship Award Ceremony. And we look forward to seeing you again next year. Thank you very much.